Are you uncomfortable or afraid of talking to strangers? Well, you're not alone. According to research, while only an estimated 7 to 13% of Allistics experience a fear of talking to strangers, an estimated 50% of autistics experience social anxiety, which often includes a fear of talking to strangers. In this video, I will break down why we fear talking to strangers, what we can do to overcome that fear, and how I am facing my own fear of talking to strangers. Let's get started. Hey, Define Yourselfers. I am Chris Mitchell, aka The Confident Autistic from theconfidentautistic.com. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I sincerely appreciate you choosing to watch this video. I hope that you'll enjoy it, and I hope that you will come back to my channel and watch more videos. I'm an autistic adult, late diagnosed, a multi-certified life coach, and an advocate for autistic adults who's on a mission to empower you to embrace autism confidently. If this resonates with you, please consider supporting my mission. You can show your support in many ways, including liking, sharing, and commenting on this video. One of the best ways you can show your support is by subscribing to the channel. And when you do subscribe, do not forget to click on the bell to be notified of new videos and when I go live. It is a fact that autistic adults often experience a significant fear of talking to strangers. Our fear is due to social anxiety, stemming from challenges in understanding social cues, difficulty initiating conversations, and a heightened sensitivity to potential judgment and new interactions, which can be amplified by the need to mask our autistic traits in social situations. Our fear can significantly affect our ability to participate in social activities and even develop friendships and develop a wider circle, which could help decrease, if not eliminate, our feelings of loneliness and isolation. Today, I want to talk about 3 of the causes or contributing factors to our fears of interacting and talking with people, especially with strangers. The first is challenges in social interactions. Autistics often experience difficulties in understanding social cues, interpreting facial expressions, understanding the nuances of a conversation, engaging in reciprocal conversations, including formulating appropriate responses. All of this can make initiating conversation with strangers daunting, or in another word, very frightening to those of us on the spectrum. Now, some of us on the spectrum experience sensory overload in crowded environments, which can escalate our anxiety in social situations, which normally, when we're in a social situation, is a time we want or need to interact with a stranger. Then, of course, there's the fear of judgment. Many autistics, and this is including me, I'm not calling out anyone, I'm calling out myself as well, worry about being perceived as different or weird by strangers, and that can deter us from engaging in conversations with other people, especially people we do not know. Now, there are several strategies that can help us overcome our fear of talking to strangers. The first is pursuing therapy and support, and this includes CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy, which can be beneficial in managing anxiety related to social interaction, including talking with strangers. Social skill training is another approach to overcoming our anxiety of speaking with strangers. Structured programs designed to teach the skills needed to effectively and effortlessly communicate socially can help you build confidence in social situations. Use of communication strategies, including the utilization of visual aids or prepared phrases and or scripting, can help reduce anxiety by managing the flow of the conversation. Self-advocacy may be one of the best ways to reduce the anxiety when conversing with others, especially strangers. In this scenario, it is suggested that you be open about being autistic and explain the challenges you encounter to others. By sharing that you are autistic with others, that simple act can foster understanding and support from the other person you're interacting with. Now, regardless of which of the above strategies you choose to try, it is important for you to gradually expose yourself to interactions with strangers with the goal of making your next interaction with a stranger a bit more challenging for you than your last interaction. Now, let's talk about how I'm facing my fear of talking to strangers. First, I'm going to give you a little backstory, a little history of it. In high school, I had probably even before, I had a horrible fear of talking to strangers, especially on the phone. Now, my dream job at this time, this is back in the 1980s, was to work in radio. And back in that day, you actually had to talk to the listeners on the phone. They would call in, especially a popular radio station. You'll have calls back to back to back. You're answering them, taking the requests, whatever, and that's talking to strangers. And I knew I needed to get over the fear of talking to strangers on the phone. I could talk to some of my friends on the phone a little bit, but it was awkward for me until I discovered a TV show that really changed my life. And it's going to sound odd, but it's weird, but it's true. Late Night with David Letterman. That was a show that ran on NBC from February 1981, I believe, until like May of 1994. Then it went to the Late Show on CBS from 1994 to I think 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. Anyway, Dave would occasionally make phone calls from his desk for comedy bits or whatever, right? And when he was making these phone calls, I don't have one around me. He used a push button phone. I went out and got a push button phone similar to his. Now I did not have the like 5 lines on it because I live in a house. We don't have 5 lines, but I got a same colored phone, push button phone, had it on my desk, and I even went to the point of getting a little speakerphone so I don't have to hold the phone up to my ear. But anyway, I got the push button phone and I would dial the phone, and in my hands, like right now, I use a needle ball a lot. I had index cards. I bought some blue index cards. Okay. And I also rearranged my bedroom so my desk would be facing frontwards in the room instead of up against the wall. And behind me was a small entertainment center that I had my stereo on and my cassette tapes and all that other stuff on it. And then to the left of me, behind me, was a window, which right now is to my right, but it was on my left. So what I would do is, and I also got myself a blue coffee mug like he had on his desk and like Dave had on his desk. And then what I would do when I make the phone call, when I felt anxious, I had the pile of blue index cards like Dave always had. And I would do what Dave would do. I would fling them behind me up against the window. And then when I get off the phone, I had to clean it up. But it helped me with my anxiety during phone calls. And that really has helped me become more comfortable with making phone calls to strangers. I still don't like it. Okay. I still do not like making phone calls to people I do not know. But as an adult, I have to do that at times for myself. And as my wife is battling stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, part of my responsibility of taking care of her is advocating for her and making phone calls to people. So I've gotten better about that. It's still not one of my favorite things to do, but I'm doing better at it. Now, in face to face interactions with people, since I went through the process in 2024, which when we're releasing this and recording this at the end of 2024, from suspecting I was autistic through self-identifying to receiving confirmation that my suspicions are correct. I have become very open about my autism and I share it wherever I go. Now, whenever I go, I wear big blue headphones. I used to wear little tiny earbuds. I wear the big blue ones. I want people to know, hey, he's on the spectrum. He's listening to music. You talk to him, he may not hear you because I listen to music. Now, a lot of people wear big noise canceling headphones, and they do cancel noise. But I like mine to be Bluetooth because what actually helps me, not just the canceling of the noise, but if I can hear some relaxing music or some of my favorite music, that helps me so much with anxiety in public. I also often go out in public wearing t-shirts that have autism written on it. And I'm going to put together a page of these resources. I'm going to put up my website. Don't have it up there the day that we release that, but be looking for it on theconfidentautistic.com, resources that I use. But I wear these t-shirts that mention autism. Uh, my favorite is the word autism upside down, and then underneath it, seeing the world differently. I wear that. I have a t-shirt that I got. But I don't like small talk. I don't like people walking up to me and starting a conversation. It causes me a lot of anxiety, and sometimes I get really snippy with them and rude, and I shouldn't, but I do. Part of the anxiety, part of the autism. So I got a T-shirt that said, "You read my T-shirt." Big giant text, and the bottom of it says in smaller text, "That's enough small talk for today." And so I got this shirt, and this is a funny story. I got the shirt. I wore it for some reward. We had to go out to the hospital for some lab work. I think it was, yeah, it might have been an MRI. Yeah, it was an MRI. I had an X radiation appointment. And four people in the hallway stopped me and said, "I really like your shirt. Where do you get it from?" Therefore, the shirt defeated its purpose. Because guys, couples would come up, the guy and the woman, and the guy's like, "I love that shirt." Oh, it defeated the purpose, but yet I tried. So I'm very open about it. My doctors know, obviously, that I'm on the spectrum. My wife's nurse practitioner for cancer knows I'm on the spectrum. My pharmacist knows I'm on the spectrum. So I have no problem telling people I'm autistic. Sometimes my wife would advocate for me and mention it, but I'm getting better and I want to get better. Well, I can say it myself. And that does help people understand what I'm going through. And I use a lot of scripting. I do. And the scripting, where I got the idea for my scripts, is once again David Letterman, how he would do phone calls and how he goofed around at times to on these phone calls, mainly for humor. He did it for that effect. I do it to help me with my anxiety and my stress. And that's why you hear me goof around a lot in these videos and joke around. I do take what I do very seriously. I really do. But I do it with a lot of humor and comedy because truthfully, if I didn't, I would be a nervous wreck and very anxious about everything. My humor and how I'm always kidding around is one of my masks that I wear, and it's one that comforts me. It fits me real well. I do things as if I really was a very big fan of Letterman. Okay, very big fan. In fact, one of my I sent him many letters. One of them actually wound up on his show, and I'm trying to find a video of it. I had it on videotape. Lived in St. Louis at the time, right? Then we moved to California, and the moving company lost that video. I should have put it in the car. Anyway, still trying to find that out on YouTube. I hope it's out there somewhere. It was like I think it was like August or September 1985, 1984, that is, my letter was read on the air. But we're getting off track here. But Letterman was a very big influence on me, and and I always wanted to work in radio or television. That was my goals. So I started interacting with people the way Dave did. And I learned how to talk to people comfortably and learn how to do scripting and masking. Did not realize it was that at the time by watching him do interviews of people. And I would use his interview style to interact with people. And I learned that, and I learned how his guests responded. That helped me develop ways I could interact in a conversation in a way that would reduce my anxiety. And when he did, we call them man on the street segments, when he would outside the studio and was doing things and interact with people, goofing around. Like, there was one that pops in my mind right now when he went to the dentist and all. He did a visit to the dentist, and he was kind of joking around the dental hygienist, the dentist himself, etc. I use that kind of style when I interact with people. I guess I get some weird looks. I don't really notice them or I don't understand them, but it helps me with my anxiety. So yes, when you do see me goof around a lot in these videos, or you meet me in person, which is not that easy to do because I don't go out that much, but if you do meet me in person and you see me goofing around, it's not that I'm being disrespectful or immature. Maybe a little bit immaturity, that may be part of the autism, but it helps me manage my anxiety. Now it is your turn. Share with me your thoughts on this video. Tell me, do you have trouble talking to strangers? How do you manage that anxiety if you have anxiety doing that? The way you do things could be a tip or advice for somebody else in our community to manage, if not face their fears of talking to other people. So please share your comments on the video or join the conversation in our Facebook group, Autistic Adults Embracing Autism. And that link to that group is in the video description, as well as a link for a free gift you can get from me, which currently, at the time of the release of this video, is 31 affirmations for autistic adults. And these are affirmations that will help you become comfortable being autistic to the point where you can embrace your autism confidently. So until next time, this is the Confident Autistic reminding you that now is the time for you to embrace autism confidently. Join me live Thursday nights for the Confident Autistic Live, where I answer your questions, we discuss this week's videos, offer support, and more. The fun starts Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time in the US of A. Be sure to click the bell when you subscribe to the channel to be notified when the party begins.